Good morning, Elite Tier Gamers. This is me, your boy Waddles. Welcome back to the Minecraft Guide, episode number 77. Yup, that's right. Episode number 77. I can't believe it. Okay, I'm lying. It's episode number 151. I can't believe I used the skin. I actually, this was my main skin. Like, what? And you guys watched? Thank you. So I tricked you. I completely lied in the intro, and I would do it again. It's not actually episode number 77, it's episode 151 now. Earlier on in this series, most likely about 10 or so episodes ago now, I said that we were done with the jungle base. Like, done, like never coming back, done. That's still the case, kind of. But you see, it's not really at the same time. In episode 150, the last one, we returned to the jungle. In episode 151, this one, we finished the jungle. Like finish. Yep, that's right, like finish. Hi. Yeah, it's been a while. I forgot about you. So there are two main projects that we have to finish today. Admittedly, it's going to be a lot of work. These projects have a lot left to do on them. I also forgot literally everything over the other base. See, I was kind of thinking that I would just use the tools over here, right? Yeah, like there's tools over here. Don't need to waste the other tools. They don't have mending or anything like that. But I forgot about the ban. Yeah, I didn't respawn the dragon in between episodes, so the old tools are still completely banned, which means, I guess, full iron tools it is for today. Considering the fact that we are working entirely on the jungle in today's episode, though, I can use all the blocks in the storage building. Anything that's here, I can actually use, which is, yeah, it makes things a lot easier. So yeah, earlier on in the series, when we were working on the skeleton farm, I announced that I was done with this jungle base, abandoning it completely. Honestly, some of the feedback was nice, for sure. Some of it was less than nice, but it's all good. It was valid. There are two major projects inside of the jungle base that we need to finish up today. In this episode, we will be finishing Full Warm, number 1, and the Panda Island. It's gonna be a lot. It'll be a lot of work, but I think we can do it. Both projects are in a pretty good spot. If you're happy about the jungle, leave a like on today's episode. If you're confused about the jungle, leave a like on today's episode. And if you're disappointed about the jungle, also leave a like on today's episode. Yeah, that should cover everything. The bigger project that we need to finish up today is going to be Full Warm. Full Warm 1.0 has a lot of work left, but at the same time, it's in a good spot. Now, we won't be setting up an auto sorter on the farm at all because that project was never even started. But the farm itself, it runs. For sure. Definitely runs. If we need wool, yeah, we can get wool from this thing. Basically, the big problem when it comes to this build, the aesthetics. The farm works, but it doesn't look good. So that's going to mean building. We need to build on this building and make it look a little bit better. Now, in terms of the building, I can't really fully remember my big plan that I had here. I'm thinking factory building, gray floor. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm not a fan of laws or anything, and I don't really make them in this world, so that's that. But we have to follow them. I thought about it a little bit. This was our 1.16 base. This base was in 1.16. Meaning it was before 1.17. As much as I would love to grab Deep Slate and throw it in on the floor in this build, it would actually look really, really amazing with what we were doing. It wasn't out in 1.16. I thought about that one a lot before working on this episode. I think it was the right choice. I feel like it makes sense. It would have made it easier. I have so much Deep Slate at my base right now. But yeah, this was the 1.16 base, so maybe we don't use 1.17 things, which means on Full Warm, on the Panda Resort Island, Deep Slate didn't exist, so we can't use it. The plan initially, at one point in time, was to actually come back to this base. One of the big things that stopped me from actually coming back to this base was the new blocks. I mean, I know it probably seems kind of weird, like, why would the new blocks stop me? But yeah, the new blocks. When there were a bunch of new blocks added to the game, I always kind of get, like, tempted to remodel old builds. Yeah, I don't think that would be very interesting to watch. Me walking around and changing the cathedral and everything like that. And then trying to make a cohesive base where all of the builds kind of match, but including all of the new blocks that I definitely want to build with now. Yeah, that would be really, really hard to do. I probably wouldn't be able to pull it off. Or at least it would be tricky to pull off. How do you make a bunch of builds that don't use a certain type of block match builds that all of a sudden use this other block? Yeah, it'd be tricky. Cement floor in this build. It is a factory after all. I have a lot of wood left over here. I think we could probably use this wood, incorporate it into the build, and make things look pretty good. We also use the stone on the outside a lot, bring it into the inside. Yeah, seems like a pretty good call. So as much as I would like to just kind of throw this build together and just abandon it, it doesn't feel right. I need to take some time on this build and make sure it actually looks good. Now, conveniently, we just finished a one Full Warm project. I really liked what I did on that Full Warm project. On that project, I did logs and staircases placed down in front of the sheep farm like that, and I think it worked out really nicely. I'm going to carry that concept over to this build right here. but we're going to make it a little different. Something like this was actually the initial plan when I set up this wool farm. I wanted to do a raised up area by the sheep. This raised up area would go basically the whole length of the build, and then down here at the end I would pop things up and make it rounded. I feel like it's so weird how different stripped dark oak logs are, like in tone from the dark oak wood. It's like really strange. Like spruce wood, yeah, it's pretty similar. Oak wood, pretty similar. But then you have stripped dark oak logs, and don't get me wrong, I like the coloration, the texture, everything. It's really nice. Honestly, this is easier to work with than this one, but like doesn't match at all. It's kind of weird. Down here at this end of this thing, I was thinking the same exact thing. I do 2 logs like that. I lay other logs like this. Probably strip these logs too, make that look consistent. And then to close it all off, make it feel finished, fences right there, going from there over to the wall. Right away, doing this right here, it makes this whole section feel basically finished. Like this is in a really good spot now. Top of the farms are a little strange looking. We'll figure something out for that. But yeah, so far so good. The biggest thing that I think I miss about this base and this area of the world, the resources. I had done so much mining to light up the caves around here. And yeah, there was just so many resources, like a crazy excess of all this stuff. I definitely need to figure out some kind of something to do over at the new base, a new diamond mining area for sure. Fix the resource problem because, yeah, once I do this, like I feel like really good. Iron is pretty simple, set up an iron farm. We'll probably do that soon. The other resources, they all kind of come together as soon as I start mining for diamonds, like seriously. So, really, iron farm, diamond mine, and the problem could be solved, I think. Having so many abundant resources over here, though, feels really, really nice, because look what I can do. I can turn all of that into like a million lanterns, and I can put the lanterns all over this build and decorate it in here and make it feel really, really nice and like industrial. Lanterns are amazing for that. Yeah, lanterns are amazing, and even better, being able to have like an infinite amount of these things. Definitely even more amazing. So over here to finish off this area, I was thinking probably just a little bit of decoration. So we have like a table sitting right there with a lantern, maybe like a bed or two in here that could look cool. Maybe even bookshelves if I have enough materials for that stuff. But yeah, just like decorations down here. So this whole wing is pretty much finished. I am thinking a carpet in the middle though. Wool. To make a carpet, I need wool. The carpet, I think, should probably be dark gray. I think dark gray is going to look really nice in here, running straight down the middle. Now, usually I would say no carpet inside of the factory. Yes, that definitely does still apply. But I think a carpet will make this area feel a whole lot more, like, finished and complete. I just don't know if the carpet should be 1 block wide or 3. I'm kind of leaning towards 3. I feel like 1 looks weird. The floor that I did in this area, the stone andesite combination, I'm thinking that floor pretty much continues through the whole factory. This sheep pen was always meant to be lowered by 1 block, though. I still think that would be nice. What I think I'm going to do here is replace all of the floor in this area with stone and andesite, and then in the middle, drop that down a little bit lower. In terms of the walls, I think we could probably work with the walls that we have and try and make them work somehow. In terms of the ceiling over here, pretty simple. I'm thinking cobblestone staircases on top of those, maybe cobblestone going right across the roof, and then leaving the rest exposed. I did a lot of detailing work in here. I'm a fan of the duo here. I think it looks good. Spruce logs, dark oak planks. Yeah, that's a nice combo. Line that up with a little bit more cobblestone, and the roof should be pretty much good and finished. Just like that, 40 minutes have passed. 40 minutes spent building. I made a lot of progress. This whole wing of the build is now entirely finished, other than the details. I'm still planning on coming back in on the face of the logs with item frames. I think I have so much extra leather. Shouldn't be a problem. And then putting wool inside of all of those frames, I think that'll look pretty cool. But this side, the whole wing is actually finished. Aside from a few details. The ceiling, I had this plan the whole time. Chains hanging random heights, lanterns in there. I feel like the random hanging lanterns adds a nice accent to this build. It's something that I want to do in other builds too. I think it's a very simple way, but effective to break up a space and detail it. Also, the lanterns accent the shroom lights like pretty much perfectly. On top of the machines on the left and the right, I finished things up with a couple iron bars, some stone slabs, and yeah, shroom light. Not that the sheep really needed any more light. They have natural light lanterns all over the place, but the extra light up there is going to help the grass grow a little bit faster. Should make this farm run even better. The iron bars and the stone slabs finish it off and make it look like a machine. Over here, I made a finalized and fancier pickup area. Now, keeping this thing clear has been an issue. I've been coming back over to this thing, trying to empty it out, and basically like put the wool inside of random chests over here. I did the grays over here with black. I put brown and white over there. It's a process. It's hard to keep up with this thing. It's a titan. But then the floor over here, I sunk the sheep farm down a little bit more, made it a little bit bigger. I guess, now that I look at it, it's uneven. But I really don't have very much room to push it over because of all the redstone that I have down there, so uneven is fine. It's not the biggest deal. Now to finish up this side of the build, that's where I'm kind of stumped. I don't really know what to do. Like, I don't think it should stay open, right? I think open is probably bad. But I also don't know if I should come in here with staircases and do all of that. What I was thinking is maybe like spruce trap doors and then keeping a lot of it open. That might look nice, and yeah, spruce trap doors in there. I'm not too sure. I'm still trying to figure it out. This part of the build, though, I know what I want to do over here. I thought about it for a while. We start with spruce logs. Spruce logs go all the way up to the ceiling. I could round that off with a couple staircases or something. Make that look pretty good. Basalt. I have basalt going right here. All that I need to do is get a little bit more basalt, fill it in. It'll look solid. Up there, I have note blocks. The note blocks look pretty good in the sides. I might be able to create some kind of frame around the face. Fill the note blocks in over there. Do something different on the ceiling to cover them up, including maybe just actually wrapping the note blocks around, filling them in the ceiling so it looks like we have a whole arch of note blocks. Arches are amazing. Over here on this side, to cap all of this off, pretty simple. We come in here with spruce logs and go all the way up to the ceiling as well. From over here, I think it finishes this whole area of the build off pretty nicely. In here, we grab even more spruce logs, even the fully filled in ones, wrap them around like that. Makes a nice frame. We'll do the same exact thing on the back side of the build, just really finishing things up here. Spruce logs wrapping around, that'll look nice. I'm out of spruce logs though, so I'm gonna have to farm more of those over at the tree farm. Finally, basically, the last thing that I need for this build is a little bit of terracotta. When I was working on this build initially, I always had this idea. To be honest, I can't remember if I ever mentioned the idea in a video or not, but hanging sheep. We're going to put a sheep, like a full body of a sheep, not just a head this time, hanging in the middle from a chain, and it's gonna look really sweet. And okay, it actually sounds really bad, but I promise, it'll look good. Hey, magenta. That's cool. To be honest, this hanging sheep, even though it's so simple, was one of the parts of the build that I was most excited to see finished. I'm glad the day is here. And so, hanging sheep. There it is, hanging sheep in the middle of the build from the ceiling. I put an anvil detail up there with chains holding it up, of course. Lantern on the back so spawns don't happen. That's a sheep. It's a sheep hanging. And so, like that, Full Warm 1.0 is now fully finished. Down this hallway, instead of colorful wool, I decided to come in here with brown wool turned sideways. I think it adds a nice touch. Sitting around the build, I placed colorful piles of wool. I think the colorful piles also add a nice touch. From this side of the build, this is what we see. A gigantic sheep hanging, tons of the build finished, lots of item frames. Walking forward in the build, we have this machine now fully finished. Iron bars, machiny for sure. Stone slabs, definitely machiny too. Spruce, I think it all looks nice. Fits together pretty well. Instead of item frames on this unit, I went for spruce buttons. They match the trap doors. And in terms of the ceiling and the wall, this is how I ended up finishing things up. Solid basalt, iron bars up top, dark oak down low, note blocks arched in the middle. I left the ceiling alone. I think it looks pretty good like that. Full Warm 1.0 is finished. It's actually finished. The day is here. The biggest project. One of them. It's done. So I did a few more piles of wool over here. Left some essentials sitting over here like a barrel and this chest. This trap door is for bottom floor access. I decided to leave this into the build. I thought this was a nice idea. Storage back here. It's really not much. It's not the fanciest thing, but it's storage. More items over here. It needs a lot of sorting. And the back rooms, where we definitely shouldn't go. Right there. Back door. So, yeah, Full Warm 1.0. I think we probably ended up spending like 5 episodes on this thing altogether. Yeah, it's done. Now, you might be wondering, what about the outside of the build? Well, good news. The outside of the build has also been fully complete. All that I need to do now is finish the path. The path needs to connect up to the road, so here we go. Pretty simple. And then this sign. The plans for the build, I don't think we need it anymore. We pretty much have everything here, other than sheer drop-off and item sorting, but we don't talk about that. The build, Full Warm 1.0, fully finished. Not the episode, though. There's one more. The next thing that we need to finish up is this path over here. I wasn't sure what to do with it. I didn't know how to connect it up to the build. This is how we should connect it up to the build. A straight shot from the road, straight over to the build. Of course, I'm not going to waste that coarse dirt. I would never do that. We'll relocate it to right there. And there we go, just like that. Path goes all the way to the factory, all the way to the storage cathedral. But let's be honest. That wasn't the big thing that you were wondering about. There is one more project. We have to finish Panda Resort. Panda Resort, the giant panda statue. This project, just like the last one, never ended up getting fully finished before 1.17 dropped. The Panda Resort Island was the other big unfinished project at the jungle base. We're gonna finish this thing up next. So honestly, I was certain, in fact more than certain, that 1.17 would have been dropping in July. I just really thought that's how it was going to play out. I didn't think 1.17 would end up dropping at the beginning of June. That right there is a major reason that we never ended up having time to actually fully finish this project. I had ambitious plans at first. Really big dreams for this island. A full island where we would send all of the extra pandas, like this panda, and this panda, and this panda, and this panda too. The plan was an island. This island over here. I fully cleared it out, got rid of all the jungle trees. The jungle trees were bad. Pandas live in the jungle, but I didn't really want them to live in that type of jungle. It was too normal. The original plan, admittedly very, very cool, but ambitious at the same time, was to create a bunch of custom trees in this area. I know it's nowhere near as cool as custom trees, but big taiga trees. They are pretty nice looking. Instead of spending a bunch of time on an insanely time-consuming build, building a ton of custom trees that I'm never even going to get to see, like even in the background, I think we'll do giant taiga trees instead. They look pretty cool. Now to make this area feel a little bit less like a mega taiga, bamboo. We'll come in here with bamboo. I'll grow the bamboo. I'll take the bamboo down. I'll spread the bamboo around. Pandas love bamboo. Bamboo with the giant taiga trees and the podzol on the ground. I think that's going to basically entirely transform the island. We wouldn't really have to do too much else. I could stop there, but I won't. I think this island also needs some rocks. We'll come back in on the island after I get the trees in and some of the bamboo, probably not all of it, but some of the bamboo, and I'll put rocks on the ground. Because I have so much of this stuff, I'll make the rocks out of cobblestone. Basically piles of cobblestone on the ground, kind of just like the mega taiga, except this time they won't be just normal blocks. Staircases are pretty cool, so I'll use some of those, and also slabs. Slabs are great. Custom rocks all over the ground. It is the least I could do for the pandas. When it comes to the forest itself, the density of these trees, I'm thinking pretty dense, but at the same time, not like impossible to roll around. The pandas like to roll, there needs to be room. Something like this in here, I think this looks pretty good. This is a nice forest. The other nice thing about these massive spruce trees, they are definitely on scale with the giant panda. These spruce trees, they fit in. These big spruce trees, like this one right here, yeah, they definitely match the statue. I do feel like I owe a little bit more explanation to this build though. Originally, the plan was to genuinely put a bunch of custom trees in here. I don't know how I was going to do it. This is a really, really big island, a lot of space. But that was the plan. See, I figured with the custom trees, we would get this really cool looking backdrop, and even more importantly, well, actually, no, that literally puts it perfectly. A cool looking backdrop. See, in the jungle base, we were starting to fill up the area around that initial lake. In Minecraft 1.17, I was planning on expanding the jungle base to this area over here. We built in that low area over here, maybe even on the hill. I wasn't too sure about it, but yeah, expanding over here and building around this lake. I might be a little bit biased, but I feel like this is starting to look pretty cool. Giant panda statue, huge trees, bamboo starting to fill in. Imagine this place as a backdrop with custom trees. It would look even better. But that's the thing. Imagine this spot as a backdrop. Yeah, I can't even do it because I've completely moved away from this base. I still think it would have been amazing to see a bunch of custom trees on this island, and I'm sorry that we're not doing it. I'm kind of bummed by it. I don't know how I was going to do it, but it could have been cool if I could have pulled it off right. But I also have to be honest, I don't see a lot of point in spending a bunch of time over here building tons of custom trees. Like, this would probably take a couple hours for me to literally never even see them. Like, they're not even a backdrop or anything. I see them today. I see them anytime we go back to the jungle after today. And then I see them in a world tour. To me, I don't know. It's just not worth it. Now, also, I need to break up some of this podzol. The easiest way to break up the podzol, other than digging it up and putting dirt back down, is probably turning it into a path and then tilling it. When I till it like this, because there's no water around here, this will actually just decay on its own. Then we'll have dirt in here. I think dirt is fine. Dirt is going to break up the podzol. I'm not going to do it too much. I just want small patches of dirt. But yeah, patches of dirt in the podzol. I think it'll look pretty sweet. Get pretty intense with the bamboo in here. It'll look even better. And then some boulders. Every once in a while, it'll help make this area look pretty good. Also, just in case you were wondering, yeah, you can't use the hoe on podzol, so that's why you have to do shovel and then hoe. And just like that, I'm done. I'm actually done. Like, fully finished. And in less than 20 minutes, too. I can't believe it. 20 minutes as in how long this episode is so far. Less than 20 minutes. I wish all of this took less than 20 minutes to do today, but no, that's not the case. It took a couple hours. The Panda Resort, the great island of the panda, it's now fully finished. All right. So a little bit of explanation. It doesn't look as good as I thought from this viewpoint right here, but up close, it looks amazing. You know what? No, I take it back. It doesn't look as bad as I thought from far away. It looks pretty cool. So I ended up doing exactly what I said I was going to do, then actually a little bit more. So we have the same minecart landing platform. That's literally exactly the same. A chest right here. I built a small platform for it to blend it in a little bit more, and a staircase to go up and down in case I'm ever over here. Then I have a path, and this path goes by trees with lanterns on them. If I do that, the lanterns break, so I won't do that. I have a path in here now. It goes through the bamboo forest. It's very immersive. Couple more trees in here with lanterns hanging from them. I thought the lanterns on the tree looked pretty cool. jungle, and it added a little bit more light into this area at nighttime. Then we have a work zone over here. Anvil, barrel, furnace, you know, what else could you ask for? Then over here, I built a tent. This tent is way better than any other tent that I built in this world, in my opinion. I'm very happy with this tent. Now, it's a little bit more cartoony and crazy. I went really steep in there, but I'm happy with how it ended up, especially on the inside with the fence detailing and everything. Yeah, it's a tent with a bed and more chests. There is another law on this island. No yellow flowers at all. The pandas do not like the yellow flowers, so I took out every yellow flower that I could find. Over here, I built this panda breeding experiment, kind of imagining some kind of like science experiment or something going on over here. We have the tent, we have the work zone, and then the panda breeding area. Tons of bamboo over here. We bring 2 pandas over here, let them do their thing. It's wonderful. And then just this island. I feel like it feels really good on the ground in here. It's really crowded now. Definitely going to be a little bit more tricky for pandas to roll around, but I guess that's what the road is for. Tons of bamboo all over the place. Trees all over. Rocks, dirt, podzol, plants. So of course, I haven't forgotten. There was one more thing that I considered doing to the statue. Vines all over it, but not like vines, like leaves. Leaf blocks hanging all over this thing to create a bunch of hanging vines. It's a cool idea, but I opted to not do it. You see, the vibe of the Panda Resort ended up being a little bit different than I was planning initially. With custom trees, I think it would have fit in a little bit more, but like this, I think the statue being cleaned up like that looks pretty nice. Unfortunately, I've been running around over here trying to get a good view of the panda. This is pretty much the best view that I can get from the ground. Once we have the elytra fly by this thing, I think it'll look pretty cool. I even had tried going up to the top of the temple. That definitely has a use, and yeah, because it's the side view, I guess it's just not the best view of the island in general, but you can see all the trees and the bamboo growing all over it. This place in its current condition now is definitely way more panda approved. Panda Resort Island, finished. Full Warm 1.0, the wool factory, inside and outside, it's now fully finished. And jungle base, finished. That leaves us 2 final things to do over here at the jungle base, and then we're done. Basically, completely. Ah, yes, the map. I need to build a map at the new base. We have to finish everything off by updating the map. So I'm pretty sure this one right there, I think we just updated all of that. We're actually pretty close to the factory from this spot. Yeah, that's fully updated. But the resort island, I'm going to have to go over there for this one. And while I fill in these maps, let's do the comment of the day. So technically, admittedly, I guess there is one more incomplete project going on over at the jungle base. Operation Villager. At one point in time, we were doing a lot of things with villagers. Somewhere around that point in time, I think it was like episode 90 something or something, I set the goal to get every single type of villager inside of the jungle. We did technically start that process. We got a lot of the villagers, but there are still quite a few that I never ended up getting over here. Like the armor, the blacksmith, I never ended up getting those. At least right now, unless I'm convinced to change my mind somehow, or I just change my mind and decide to come back to the jungle, I don't think we will be finishing Operation Villager. The project would take a long time, and I don't really feel like building a bunch of buildings over here if I don't even get to see them. Instead, at some point, the plan is to build a proper trading hall over at Grim. It's time to leave the jungle and go back to Grim. Oh yes, that's right. I almost forgot. I have to leave everything here. I'm abandoning every single thing that I brought other than the food, because I brought food and it's just food and the pants. So yep, for the jungle base, that's basically just about it. Like I said, unless I'm convinced to change my mind somehow, or I just change it on my own at some point, we're probably basically done with this whole zone. It felt good being back over here at the jungle today, but it also felt kind of sad. I really miss this place. This was my favorite base that I ever set up. At the same time though, it does give me a lot of inspiration for the next base. Oh yeah, actually, once that place is in a better spot, we will be back here. We have to move the pets over there. That's gonna do it though for the second part of the special. Episode 150, the return. Episode 151, the finish. That's not it for the series though. The series is an ending, and the next episode we'll be back over at Grim, probably working on the diamond situation, because yeah, it's kind of rough. Thank you all so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts on the jungle base, any takes, definitely throw those down in the comments below. Bill W, Monkey Boy Chuck, and Michael A, thank you all so much for the support. Thank you all for watching. Some of the freshest merch that you'll ever see in the Minecraft game is linked down below this video. Check it out. Links are in the description. Early access to the Minecraft Guide series for my patrons. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.